Youth clubs run by the council in Suffolk could close unless local people step in to take them on. The county council says it can't afford to run them because of budget cuts. Let's go live to Suffolk now and our reporter Kevin Birch.
Stuart, we're at Hasketon. This youth club isn't run by the county council, but clearly they've been watching things with interest because the council, as you probably know by now, wants to outsource the bulk of its services. And today it agreed to go out to consultation on a plan to sell off all of its youth clubs. It has about 30 in total, but it says it hopes that some of them will keep going if local groups or local people come forward to take them on.
Well, the bottom line as far as children and young people services in this county is concerned is we have a statutory obligation to maintain our safeguarding presence and all that work that we do around looking after children, keeping children safe. That's the thing that we must maintain. So the things that we don't have to maintain, we've got to look at the community to provide. And in this particular instance, I actually feel there really is capacity for that to happen.
Well, the council hopes to save about £850,000 by doing this. Let's have a word with Kevin Woods, who's a professional youth worker. Kevin, people out there ready to take on these youth clubs? Do you think that's going to happen?
I can't see it. I really don't. I think if there were people out there, we'd have them already. We're a volunteering organisation. We need volunteers always, and we're not overrun with them.
The council says it struggles to get a handful of kids to turn out to some of these youth clubs. That's why they need to shut. That's a common problem.
Not for us. Certainly not for us. But I can see it. It can be, yes. But I think shutting them down isn't going to solve the problem for the rural isolation that we try and deal with.
And in just a few words, it's a bit of a sad day.
Very sad day.
All right, Kevin, thank you very much. That's it from Hasketon. Back to you in the studio.
Kevin, thank you very much.
An airman who died on a stopover on his way back from Afghanistan has been named. Senior aircraftman Scott Hughes served with 1 Squadron Royal Air Force Regiment at RAF Honington in Suffolk. The Ministry of Defence said he died on Sunday after being hit by a speedboat while swimming in Cyprus.
Parents in Essex claim their children are being put in danger because 2 Lollipop patrols have been stopped. The council says the area around a number of schools in Harlow isn't busy enough. The parents contacted Look East after our report last week that Lollipop patrols across the region are under threat.
8 a.m. and with 5 children, walking to school's a busy time for mum Samantha Key's kid. Her journey involves crossing a busy road in an area that contains 3 schools. Until recently, there were 2 Lollipop patrols. Both left their posts and haven't been replaced.
I should imagine a child will die eventually because especially you've got so many schools that use that crossing, especially the Passmore's children, they're that little bit older and obviously they take more risks, and obviously with the little children you're trying to hold their hands, but you're teaching them all the time, and to teach them to run across the road is not safe.
Staff at one school are so concerned they've asked their local MP to speak to Essex County Council about replacing the patrols, but the council say the area's not busy enough.
There's so many school children who go to the school, and I think it is essential that we have a Lollipop person, and I will continue to do all I can to try and persuade Essex Council to change their minds.
It seems Lollipop patrols could be on the decline. Just last week, Look East revealed plans to review the jobs of 450 men and women in our region, but parents in Harlow are adamant they're needed. But Essex County Council says national guidelines are used for assessing whether a patrol is required, and the Tendring Road site does not meet the approved criteria for a school crossing patrol. Locals say they'll keep campaigning, but for the moment this uniform is stopping in the cupboard. Felicity Simper, BBC Look East, Harlow.
There are concerns a decision to move a heliport away from Great Yarmouth could impact on the local economy. CHC Helicopters says it will stop using North Deans Aerodrome and is instead relocating to Norwich Airport.
CHC Helicopters is the world's largest provider of offshore transport services to the oil and gas industries. It's had a base at North Deans Airfield for the last 30 years, but from next May it will no longer fly from here. CHC Helicopters could not give us an interview, but they have released this statement. They say that this decision has not been taken lightly and comes after a year of research with our business customers, our staff and the local business community. They go on to say that at the moment it's not expected that the move would result in loss of jobs. The decision to move is expected to impact on the wider economy of Great Yarmouth.
The knock-on effect as far as lack of people staying in the hotels, lack of people using taxis, even newspapers are supplied from here and they're transported out to the rigs. So there'll be a considerable effect.
I haven't done the numbers yet of loss of bed nights, but I'm sure we are talking in the hundreds of bed nights which will be lost at the Imperial Hotel.
Yarmouth's loss will be Norwich's gain. A new heliport is being built at Norwich International Airport. CHC helicopters will join 3 other companies already based there. Mariam Ismdar, BBC Look East, Norfolk.
The operators of the container terminal at Great Yarmouth say it's closing. Eastport UK says operations have been suspended because the container industry is still recovering from the financial crisis. Giant cranes put up at the port more than a year ago have never been used. The decision to close the terminal has been agreed with the operators of the cranes.
In football, there are 3 games involving the region's teams tonight. In the Championship, Norwich and Ipswich will hope to maintain their push for the playoffs. Meanwhile, Southend play their quarter-final in the Johnston's Paint Trophy.
A manager with plenty to ponder. Tonight, a selection dilemma, injury and suspension taking its toll. This man will certainly be missed. Andrew Crofts, Saturday's goal hero, an injury-time strike earned a point against Burnley, but seconds later, he was off.
There's big players out there. I think we've got about 7 out at the minute. But as I said, that's the nature of the game. The ones that come in, I'm sure will drive it on as well as the ones that are not there.
Prowling on the sidelines, Norwich's Fox, praying for a start at the Den. David Fox was a sub on Saturday. He could replace Crofts at Millwall.
Gives an opportunity to someone else. Hopefully that'll be me, but I'll just have to wait and see. And if it is, then I've got to try and do my best to take that opportunity.
Satisfied after victory at Sheffield United, but Roy Keane says this is where the hard work really begins. Back-to-back wins in the league has catapulted Ipswich into the top 6. A good gauge of their playoff credentials tonight when they play an informed derby.
The players are doing well, but there's a long way to go yet. We want to be there at the end of the season, not November.
Southend beat Barnet in the last round of the Johnston's Paint Trophy. The Blues host Charlton tonight in the area quarter-final. Tom Williams, BBC Look East.